Hi everyone, my name is Pamela and welcome to Vlogtober Day 4. Today is Wednesday, October 4th, otherwise known as the Stephen West MKAL Eve. So today I do want to talk about the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along. I am going to be partaking this year. I am determined to finish the project. You may or may not be aware that I have tried the past 2 years to knit with the Mystery Knit Along and complete a shawl. And while I enjoyed the portions that I did, I never finished the projects and I ended up frogging them. The first one was because I didn't like the way my colors were playing together. I liked all the colors individually. As I started it, I realized I did not care for those colors together, and I ended up just giving up and frogging that project. And then last year, again, I was determined to complete the project. And what I had I dedicated a lot more time to the project last year. But what I found was that the first part of the pattern took me so much time. I'm not a super fast knitter like some people are, and I also work, so I don't have time to knit all day. And I don't mind falling a little bit behind, but I wanted to kind of do the project with everybody else. And on week 4, I was still on clue 1 and it was looking really interesting. The only thing was I was not in love with the shape of the shawl, so I didn't think I would wear it that much. So that also contributed to my decision to frog the project, and I did. This year I participated in the Stephen West Mystery Sockalong, and I did complete the project, but with some modifications. So here are my socks from the Mystery Knit Along this summer. So, you know, to be fair, I didn't gauge swatch, and I also didn't maybe follow all of his instructions for sizing. That's fair. He included a lot of information for sizing, and I kind of just did what I always do. And what happened with that is that I ended up with socks that are too big for me, which is okay, because I feel like I know somebody who would like these as house socks, and I will be gifting these socks to that person. You might be saying to yourself, those don't look exactly like the socks, and they're not. They're not. So I did the first part identical to the clue, and I love this cable detail. And I love the way the cables then came in to this stair. I'm gonna call it like it looks like stairs pattern. I love that. When I first knit it, before I blocked it, this section looked very tight and puckery because of the color work, and because it involves slip stitches. They kind of tend to be tight, and I was pretty careful to keep them as loose as I could. But after I blocked them, I thought they blocked out really nice. I also love the heel. Actually, let me put one of these down. I also love the heel section, and I feel like I would do this section again. I like the way it looks like a polka dot. It's the two colors together, and that was pretty simple to do. Between here and here was a sort of a basket weave section. I didn't love that section. I found it made this section look kind of puffy, and I just didn't care for it, so I just kept going with the pattern that I liked doing, and I carried that pattern all the way down the foot. I did the same stripe pattern that he did, and instead of doing a cable right here, I decided to just put the blue yarn there and make kind of a stripe that separated the two patterns. And then I honestly, I can't remember if I did his toe exactly as instructed or the way I usually do my toes, but it's very similar type of pattern. These socks were cuffed down, which is the way I like to make my socks. I'm not sure if he had instructions for toe up, or if I don't recall, but I do recall that he did have instructions if you wanted to do a left and a right sock, meaning the patterns would be a mirror reflection rather than being identical. Again, I didn't do that. It wasn't necessary because I carried this stair pattern all the way throughout, so I didn't really think I needed to do a right and left. So I did enjoy this, and I didn't finish on time, or I would say I didn't finish when everybody else did, or when most people did. I finished a few weeks later, but I didn't fall too far behind with this project. Yeah. So moving to tomorrow, what generally happens is Stephen will post his video early in the morning Amsterdam time, which is really early in the morning for our time, which is Eastern Standard Time. So I like to actually get up really early. I get excited. It's like Christmas morning. I like to get up really early, and I like to watch the video, and I like to watch the video all the way through, and I do see how clue number 1 will end, because I like to see what I'm doing, and then I start the video over again and will knit along and cast on with the video. I may not do that with every clue though. I may not watch it all the way till the end. I may just keep it a surprise and just do the first section of clue number 2 and the second section of clue number 2 and that sort of thing. I haven't decided yet. Either way, it's going to be fun. So I am excited about my yarn. Like, I'm really excited about my yarn. So I have a love affair with Sonder yarn. I have a lot of it in stash, and I have a few projects that I've made with it, but I was going, okay, so I was going to go stash diving. I have quite a large stash, what I consider to be a large stash, and a lot of it is fingering weight sock yarn in solid colors for when I'm making socks. And so I had chosen a gradient in shades of blue, but because of the time of year, I think it was because of the time of year, they just weren't speaking to me. I think of that more like a summer or spring. I don't know, blue, I don't know, it could be winter too, but it wasn't autumn. And then I put in an order from Sonder Yarn for another project that I was working on. And while I was on their website, I saw their gradient kits for the Geo Gradient knit along. And one of them in particular I fell in love with. Show you. So it starts with this one. Yeah, that one looks darker, I think, than it actually is. This one is Toast and Honey. Then this one is Full English. This one is Copper Kettle. And this one is French Press. think I'm going to have to insert a picture. It might be easier and it might show the yarn colors better. But I'm so excited. This is on their, I think it's 4-ply fingering weight base. Let me just check. So it's Sunday morning fingering weight, and it's 75% BFL and 25% Massam, or Masham, I don't know how you pronounce that. It is their Sunday morning 4-ply fingering weight yarn. If you can hear the barking, it is not my dog, it is my neighbor's dog, and I think he's fine. He just likes to yip a bit. I think out of all the colors, it's hard to pick a favorite. Like, it's hard to pick like a favorite child, but oh, this copper kettle is so rich. Actually, maybe I can do this. I love it, isn't it good? It's so good. You know what? It doesn't really matter what the design is. With this yarn in these colors, I don't think there's any way that I won't like it. Knock on wood, but I'm super excited. And I'm going to be going to bed early tonight and setting my alarm so that I get up really early and I don't miss the premiere. I don't want to complain about the weather because, you know, it's like summer right now, but it's hot. It's too hot now. Yesterday when I videoed, it was still cool, but it went up past 30 degrees Celsius, and today it's supposed to go to 29 and it's hot. I'm not going to be turning on the air conditioning. It cools off at night anyways. It cools off to about 10 to 15 degrees, which that's cool enough. It's just the days are very warm. So the last quick thing I want to talk about is this book that I'm reading. I am partway through it. I have this beautiful bookmark that I'm using. I don't know if you can see it. It is a reproduction of the artwork of Gustav Klimt. It's called The Kiss. It's probably his most famous artwork, and I was able to see that particular artwork at the Belvedere Palace in Vienna. It was a little bit hard because it was the most viewed piece there, probably, so that room was really, really crowded and busy. Anyway, so I think of that every time I look at my bookmark. So this book is called The Last Heir of Blackwood Library by Hester Fox. So far it's really good. This was a spontaneous purchase when I was at Indigo Chapters, which is the closest large bookstore, big box bookstore to me. I was there looking at some books and some fall decor and things like that, and this one looked interesting, and when I read the information on the back, that looked interesting as well. Who doesn't love spooky old libraries and ghost stories, that sort of thing? So far this has all of that. And the trope is a common one, which is young woman inherits large haunted manor house. Is that a trope? I think it's a trope. Anyways, I'm enjoying it so far. If you like spooky books, but not very, very scary books, I highly recommend this one. I really like the main character, and there's a lot of interesting little twists and puzzles in it that I haven't quite worked out yet. So the story starts off hundreds of years ago with a person called an anchoress. I had never heard that term before. And I found out through Google that an anchoress was a religious person, mostly women, nuns, who would have themselves walled up into their room, very small room with a bed and maybe a desk and a Bible. They would literally take the door off and brick up the room. And then the only way that the person could get their food and necessities is if townspeople came to their window and would give them food or other types of necessities as kind of an offering. And sometimes those people would also, the anchoress would counsel the townsperson if they had a particular problem, or they would pray for that person if the person came seeking some help, that type of thing. So I thought that was really interesting. I had never heard of an anchoress before. The thought of being walled up in a room is absolutely terrifying. Yeah, so that was interesting. Anyways, and then it continues to more modern days. I think the story takes place after the First World War. Anyways, it's really good. Highly recommend it. And I will let you know how it is when I'm done, which hopefully won't take too long. I don't have anything further. I have a bunch of things I have to do today. I have to just do some cleaning for this weekend. This weekend is Canadian Thanksgiving, so I have to do some cleaning. I would like to put out my fall and Halloween decor items. I'd like to get some of that done and work on my test knit, because I want to make sure I complete that. Even though I'm starting the MKAL, I still take test knits very seriously, and I want to make sure I finish that well in time. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's very relaxing, and I feel like I would definitely make this shawl again. I would like to see what the finished size is and how it fits, but so far I'm loving it. Anyways, that's all. Take care, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Damn.